what it'll say. Nice and kind, leading cobalt ice. He's a blue, cute, and deadly little guy. Seeing through the fog, old gods he's slayed. Go 7, go 7, go 7, go 7. Go 7, go 7, go 7, go 7. Go 7, king of the game. I believe in you, that's what it'll say. Nice and kind, leading cobalt ice. He's a blue, cute, and deadly little guy. Seeing through the fog, old gods he's slayed. Go 7, go 7, go 7, go 7. Go 7, go 7, go 7, go 7.
Oh. There we are. Put on our little bow tie. Hello. I saw that Fluffy said something before, but that was when I was just looking at YouTube on the stream instead of the multi-stream. So his message is forever lost. Oh, Sulfur Rent. Oh, Shadow. Sulfur Rent, I just got done judging a whole bunch of your submitted maps. I can safely say that I have now judged every map that's for round 2. I'm just waiting on Bum and Humida. They're being a little bit lazy. I kid. Judgment time. I hope everyone's doing well. It was Labor Day. Which means no work for me today. But not true for everyone. You'd think Labor Day would be like everyone gets the day off, except but all the restaurants and the stores are pretty much open. Hope they get extra pay though. There's a large number of new replays submitted, yeah. Well, you gotta remember, the war is not advanced. The advance comes from the fact that the game came out on the Game Boy Advance. It's not describing the war, it's describing the medium. Looks like we're starting on this one. Grit versus Javier. Oh boy. This is one of those tough matchups, I would say. I know. You can finally see all these games, but you can also see games that will be reviewed today, Rip. You get to see all the new submitters. They're finally getting their day in the sun. We will give Grit Cobalt Ice because they really need the help. Not only is it Grit and Fog, it's Grit and Fog against a Javier. And it's a Javier that has access to comm towers. It might be a little bit favored. Like a tiny bit favored. You're facing right, and how do you face left? This looks tough for the Penguins. Okay. I'm trying to think of what can Grit possibly do. And I guess if Grit somehow manages to get control over both comm towers, if he does that, then it's basically an equal game, right? Because Grit's day-to-day, except for infantry, Grit's infantry would be better than Javier's. But Grit's like melee vehicles all have minus 20% firepower. So 2 comm towers would make that back to normal. And Javier would just be at normal. And while like Grit's indirects would have plus 40% to their firepower, the Javier units have by nature plus 20% defense against them. So it's basically, the same. So if Grit can somehow get both comm towers, then I think that's probably fine. You're thinking we're gonna lock this down. I mean, a grit could definitely lock this down. You build an artillery because of the extra range it reaches, and then you can lock this one down too. So it's got like the river and the mountain. If that was the thinking, this would be a little bit harder to lock down. Not gonna work amazing against Javier though. You can also build a pipe runner. We'll see how it goes. Good luck to Grit. Checks out so far. I mean, that is already a very contested comm tower. Goes for the capture. Doesn't have backup for it. Ooh. Pretty smart. Just goes for the finish on the city, knowing like this is the exact same situation that would happen if for the comm tower. Now Grit's infantry are not any weaker. Oh my gosh. Okay, well Javier just abandoned this comm tower. Here's the recon, I guess. This is a huge chance for Grit. Is the recon down here? Okay. I thought it was going to go up here. I guess that's what the airport's going to be for. Gonna have to interrupt this. Yeah, smack. It goes down to 1. The recon doesn't reach to hit this infantry. Not much going on the sides other than just infantry going for captures. Easy peasy. Okay. Well, we could build a copter here. Probably not going to, though. It would be copter and then just nothing but base skips otherwise. So copter next turn, I imagine. Okay, wait. So this was join capped. So it needs 3 to go through. I think you can double swing here with a full health and a 7. You won't like kill it, but I think you'll probably knock it down to 2. Would be my guess. If it's just knocking down to 3, then it might be a roll. So I'm very surprised that Grit doesn't smack this. Might be trying to just set up like, I'm gonna take it late. That's plus 10, plus 10. This is just a plus 10 attack. Also gets the plus 10 defense. Then natively has plus 20% defense against indirects. So that's plus 30%. So every time this fires on, and then a base is 3 defense stars. So if this just fires on the base trying to lock it, it's firing against stuff with 60% defense against it. At least mixed fog, let's go. I'm shocked that Grit let this through. Just gonna try and like pile up a ton of artilleries. Artillery bot over here as well. And the bully Javier away from the cities. So far, kind of working. And then when Javier uses his power or super, he's basically immune to with his super he will be immune on most terrain. Okay. It did, I guess it did still do 4 damage to the infantry. It's not the worst. And the artillery does help cover for the comm tower capture, so that is indeed our goal here. builds a tank. It's not the best situation for Javier, just because like this tank can now reach the artillery. This doesn't have a way of blocking it off right now. I assume this tank is going to go in for the attack, because why else would you have it? Another tank built over here. Boom, hits the artillery down to 3. Interrupt on the comm tower. Finishes it off. Probably fine to go in that order. Like, the recon wouldn't have taken any chip, but it is going to potentially be suffering a artillery shot here. Bam. Gets knocked down to 4. Still pretty much serviceable. The artillery stuck around and fired to do 1 damage to give extra value because you knocked the opponent's economy off of it at even 1,000 due to the... Yeah, basically. In order to... effectively cost more money, but now there's like 900 extra cash here for Javier. So repairing this for 100 is going to do effectively nothing, and the artillery is just kind of stuck here. You get a 7-6 trade here, slightly positive for grit. I think there's a chance that this just goes straight up negative or even. The mech doesn't get that -2 attack power. I think this infantry could have stood here and locked in the tank if that was the goal. Back from hibernation. Is there lag? No! My stream software is not telling me that. Seems somewhat better on Twitch, huh? Well, after this game, I'll restart the internet and it'll get back to the stream. I might make the latency a little bit higher. Have the closed caption. It gets trapped in range of the mech. So this comm tower is not getting captured anytime soon, although we do have the HQ attack coming in here. Grit being very aggressive with these infantry. Kind of has to be. Oh, the 3 health artillery finished off the recon. Pretty nice. The tank's allowed to live. Yes, that's fine to attack. This is a lot of pressure on the HQ. I think that Grit is actually going to get this win. Right now, only the tank can get the smack on the city. Or the HQ, I mean. And as you can see, it leaves it at 5. So it'll cap again, set the capture points to 5, and then have an infantry go for the join cap. So Javier's going to need something stronger than a tank to strike next turn. Or have some sort of sacrifice play coming. You have an infantry going after the comm tower. Would be nice for Javier to get double. Oh no, don't build anything over here. Why is Javier so little? Oh, built it. Okay, built a copter. That's something. I'd build copter and anti-air over here, probably. Might be scared that like an artillery could fire on it, but it is still going to be... Oh my gosh, what? No! Why even put that there? I think you have to go anti-air there. It would take a pretty big hit here, but anti-air do hit infantry pretty hard. I thought you could go like a medium tank or something. You mean to fix the lag? Thank you. Snipe attack. Be sniping. That range. You can kill it with health infantry. Oh, I guess he can shoot this guy. There we go. That makes sense. Okay, well, I think Javier's just dead. Tank's not going to be enough. Tower shield. There's another 10% defense here for Grit. Gets the hit. Builds a missile. And then Javier resigns. Oh my gosh. There was a missed HQ cap? I don't think there was a missed HQ cap. I think the HQ cap got. Well, I was not expecting that. Well played to Grit in Fog against Javier. GG, that is not easy. That's low. You're saying the lag got fixed? Lag's gone? Okay. We'll continue on. Well played. AcornGlass. Versus Pieman. Hawke mirror on La Tour de Ludo. Says lag is fixed. Your internet, nope. It is true that the day-to-day didn't come in. Well, it came into play a little bit. I mean, the artilleries did get built. It's not like there weren't any. But over by the HQ, things didn't matter too much. It's on your end. Okay. Usually if the stream is lagging, it sends me notifications. Who knows? All right, we've got Flame Pieman. You can be comment. AcornGlass can be. Okay. Got her. This looks a lot like an HQ race, because I don't think they're quite equidistant from both HQs. Might be. Which usually means like the attack goes towards the HQ and then it's very difficult to defend against it. Maybe there's some incentive for the defense, because when you're going after your captures towards like this comm tower, that means you'll have some units around over here, but the HQ is also on the very edge of the map, which makes it really easy to attack and really hard to defend. Because especially with this mountain here. So to attack it, you're just using like artillery. They don't really care. And then you put an infantry on to start capturing it. And then it's like, how do I wall off this capture? And it's insanely easy here. One side is the edge of the map, which means any walls over here are going to have the best possible end to them. And then the other side is facing away in the corner with a mountain in the way. So you actually... And then there's a mountain down here, so it's just like a two-tile wall to start capturing the HQ and block off attackers. Or defenders, I guess. So I would imagine this is just going to be an HQ race map. We do have like this two bases right next to each other, one of which is right next to the rivers at the top, so you can kind of walk on over there pretty quickly. There is an airport snuck away, hid away in the corner. Alarm me if lag comes back. Thank you. We're gonna go for a tank first. I think that's pretty reasonable. It's a little quick to go straight for the HQ right now, and there's a lot of captures in the center that could have some assistance from tanks. Oh my gosh, did AcornGlass? Wait. Oh my gosh, AcornGlass double base skipped last turn. That is not advised. Okay, so it looks like AcornGlass. I guess it was an accident. I thought AcornGlass might be trying to go just pure tank mode. Like I've got enough infantry. I think it was just an oopsie. He decided to build a mech, which is kind of surprising. I personally would not have built a mech. I would have just built another infantry. Because then at least you'd have enough money to go for 2 tanks this turn. But going tank artillery is not the worst either. You're going to want the artillery eventually anyway. To take out the HQ. It looks like Flame Pieman is just going pure tank. Obviously, Flame Pieman's got a little bit of an unit count lead. You just have a double base skip. Ooh. We're going to go in. Smack. This is a guaranteed kill because Hawke has base plus 10% attack power, has a comm tower for another 10%, so hit that 20% threshold, guaranteed to a KO on 30% defense. Terrain. Really, what's really sad here for AcornGlass is there's only one tank covering this. If this tank was covering it too, it would end up being a fairly positive trade. But at present, going to be in Flame Pieman's favor. The artillery doesn't even really get involved. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's technically being defended. Or like blocked off from the tanks. They could like kill us infantry to go through. But that would probably be ill-advised. Because it would take a tank plus an infantry to kill this infantry. It leaves you with 1 more offensive tank in this situation. And then it hits this artillery. Doesn't even kill it. And then there's 3 tanks that AcornGlass would get to strike back with. Decides just to go after the other tank here. Seems smart to me. The artillery doesn't get to engage yet. You just get a single tank strike. This tank gets the heal. Surviving at 1 means when the Hawke powers come around, eventually up. The mech gets hit by a single infantry. That's not the worst thing. It's really when the second infantry hits your mech that you're really sad. I mean, obviously, it's not ideal to have the 5 health mech here. At this spot right here, this guy does not need to sacrifice itself because it's Hawke. Comm tower has 20% threshold, so the infantry are guaranteed to get this kill. Why sack the... I sacked the HQ. Yeah, that the sacrifice was not needed. I also wouldn't join there. It does help defend this tile, but well, I guess it's fine because it makes your healing from your power worse, but it also makes the damage from your opponent's power worse-ish. So I guess that's fine. But yeah, I didn't have to sacrifice there. It was guaranteed. For having a double base skip there, AcornGlass is doing all right. A little bit behind in economy. It's going to start hurting a lot now that Flame Pieman is going to get both of these cities and go up 4k. When you have now the pressure game put on this city. Surprisingly, I was wrong, and the HQs are not being threatened right now. Part of that's just because Flame Pieman doesn't actually have an artillery. But once you have 17k on 2 base airport, you often see copter tank infantry every single turn. You can also see medium tank infantry if you wanted to. So 17k tends to be a threshold to think about. Obviously, if you have 14k, you can still do that same kind of thing, but it gets really expensive. You need to have like one turn where you go just 2 infantry buys, and that flow to 12k, and then that lets you go like copter, tank, infantry next turn, and then a couple turns after that. Oh, huge first strike in here. Flame Pieman. Does have an anti-air. Covering all of this against the coppers in the back. Artillery doesn't get hit, so we will get some retaliation going here. We also do get a mech strike. 2 mech strikes, actually. So it's not the worst for AcornGlass. Gotta be really careful about having the power available here, though, because it can be really devastating if you use it first and then you don't get enough out of it. Let's see how many kills AcornGlass is able to get. That one definitely mattered. We do get to kill the copter. Of course, you'd lose the tank against the anti-air. Then finish it off. Okay. Okay, so that was a pretty good Hawke power. Lots of those were just finished off. And I think the power actually mattered there. It's still going to be really painful as the super is about to come back with a vengeance. But we do have a little bit of a unit comp win going here for AcornGlass. 2 copters, no opposing copters, no opposing anti-airs. You get to look at just how good Hawke super is here. So 54 to 83, so down about 30,000. Just hits the super. And about even, so about a 30,000 swing before the units start attacking. Although, honestly, not too many attacks. Only 1 tank goes down. Artillery gets tagged. These infantry get attacked. Honestly, that's not so bad for AcornGlass. That kind of worked out. We do still have a bunch of tanks here to deal with, but double copter is going to make this a lot easier. Besides, let's send the copter over here. Just like overkill save this. We do get to attack down here. Interesting. So the triple tank squad up here is going to be left kind of alone. Might be a little bit daring. Picked off. Right now, Flame Pieman is up 4k. Usually that means you don't want to be continuing to fight like this, but it's probably fine. Go straight into the Neo. Oh, Flame Pieman. That's so much money. Flame Pieman. Oh, Flame Pieman base skipped last turn. So we have a base skip back. These units just weren't moved because it's live. Okay, well, Neotank anti-air. Tanks get smacked. Anti-air goes in for a swing too. Although there's not much in the way of targets for it right now, other than a bunch of infantry. So much. It's a pretty big overextension here from Flame Pieman. He's going to try and take the comm tower while this fighting is going on. Get more of an advantage. He's going to get this city. And the economic lead is looking really nice. We do have some infantry sneaking up here. Copper comes in to hit the tanks. Unfortunately, that is an anti-air range, but at this point, it looks like it's kind of forced anyway. Ooh. This looks like a much worse Black Wave. I don't think the Black Wave was needed to kill that tank. And it kind of leaves AcornGlass open for like a counter Black Wave, which will still get this capture through. It won't get the comm tower through, but the comm tower wouldn't go through anyway. Now this is looking really dire as all the damage that AcornGlass did, all the like 1 damage pings. There's not too many units that hit and prepare, so I guess not so bad. Not like when there's a huge number of units on the map. In those cases, it's much worse. But still, Flame Pieman's like up 40k here. Value. Bunch of attacks come in. Are mostly guarded by the artillery. Comm tower is saved. Tank takes Heiankyou here. Tree goes down. So few foot soldiers left. Really for both players because this is of course a base light. I think there was a base skip. I think there was. I could be wrong. I think those units like didn't move. I could be wrong. There was like 34k. Yeah. GG. The first power from AcornGlass, pretty darn nice. But it ended up going downhill for sure. That the income lead was just so much. Early game base skip is so painful. Some nice tactics. GG. Brutal. The HQs didn't even get touched. Yeah, the unit count. Hi, Fluffy. Great. Saiyaman, not Saitama. I have it misspelled here. Great Saiyaman versus Barracks. Terrible to fluff. Okay. I want to say Saiyaman, but it's not. It's Saiyaman. You're also thinking Dragon Ball? Great Saiyaman versus Barracks. Or does Barracks remind you of your childhood? Did you play a lot of StarCraft? On the Marines and medics. Okay. We got a fog game here. Pretty big map. Have some labs to capture, no HQs. So it's going to be, if someone has no labs, they lose the game. I don't think there's a neutral lab here, so these are going to be the two for both players. You gotta keep an eye on. It's the RIP map. Oh, StarCraft 1 fans, yeah. Dragon Ball, yeah. Not. I've misread that. I thought you were saying Dragoon Ball. Okay. Moving on out towards the neutral base. Decides not to go over the river. Goes for a quick airport. They both do. So I imagine they're going to go for transport copters. Otherwise, I would typically expect them to go for the middle first. We do have the recon. Okay, so Barracks going for the recon first. The great Saiyaman going for transport copter first, which is one of my favorites openings for sure. We'll see if the recon is able to punish it. Kind of heading out in the right direction to do so. Looks like next turn we're going to have a tank built. Might 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Looks like the tank is going to get there in time. Well, depending on how this goes down here, I guess. It won't get down to this corner in time. Oh, but the recon goes up. So yeah. It isn't spotted by any of these infantry, but a tank coming out here should guard against it. Which will make the recon first a little sad here. We just have a huge wave of infantry coming out from both sides. Got a bit of a bottleneck going on. Oop, T-copter comes back here. Recon spots it now. So Barracks is going to know what the opening is. Is also going to know that there's an infantry down here. Might try and go and pester it. The tank isn't known about, but it's probably easy to deduce. It sends a tank down here too, so it can go like recon tank into the corner. Oof. Sends the recon forward, hits the infantry on the road. It's going to have a rude awakening. The tank is spotted. Isn't a comm tower yet, but the recon still goes down with the tank with infantry strike. And the T-copter's in position to start picking up more and more infantry. Let's go, T-copter opening, yeah! Okay, there isn't any vision over here, and there isn't any follow-up infantry either, so there's not much of a decision made that can be made for Barracks. Capturing right in range of each other. Like very light soldiers. There's also an Andy mirror, which is mine. So any kills are really nice. We've got triple tank coming up the top here for the Great Saiyaman. There's only one tank defending. With a mech marching out. No recons on the field at present, although one was just built by Great Saiyaman, and of course we saw one get lost by Barracks. Rest in peace, recon. Gotta be careful with those guys, especially in the early game. They're mighty squishy, huge. I guess they both have like this wave of infantry coming out, heading towards the corner. Could be a little bit devastating for Great Saiyaman if this is not able to be defended, because if this results in like the Great Saiyaman takes this corner and Barracks takes this corner, they just kind of trade corners. That's really bad for the Great Saiyaman, because these are all properties that the Great Saiyaman owns, and if Barracks flips them, that's like an economic win. These are just neutral properties, so it doesn't hurt Barracks at all if they get flipped or taken, I guess. Recons are becoming your favorite unit. The standard recon is surprisingly good. The campaign was fun. StarCraft's fun. Recon shenanigans are the best part of an opening. They are good. They're good. Okay, well, in this case, Barracks is going to get a little bit punished because these infantry didn't walk up here. I'm kind of surprised that they both went for these captures, just because the huge wave of infantry are coming in for Barracks down here. Must feel like there's just enough time to get this capture off. Tragically not. Oh, and the tank can reach this one too. That's pretty devastating. We'll see how the Great Saiyaman... Yeah, see. Falling back over here. Very wise. I have a feeling the Great Saiyaman has played this map before and knows how these kinds of corners tend to play out. Actually, both have a triple tank attack to the corner. Oh, I guess it's actually... Now it's quadruple tank plus anti-air for both. Great Saiyaman has a recon. Barracks, unfortunately, without a recon over here. Could have had a recon, but we have like this little mech train going on out. We got a Neo tank on the way. Neo tank is definitely fearsome. Recon spots. Goes down. Okay, so that corner is getting claimed by the Great Saiyaman, and we're going to see whether or not this one can actually be defended. If it can be successfully defended, that's probably just going to be GG, because there'll be a massive income lead. See how it goes. We've got some pretty nice compositions going on here for the Great Saiyaman. We're going to have an anti-air per front, as you like. Each army has its own little recon. Provide vision. It's dangerous to have all your army up against the wall like this, or the edge of the map like this, but I think it's going to be okay. One city does start getting captured. This one didn't get finished. It was interrupted successfully. Currently, the Grey Saiyaman's up 3k. These infantry are now being much more tame. Not trying to contest this army at all. But in comes the copter. We do have an anti-air in place. So it's going to be like, how well can this actually be defended? Blocked off. A transport copter can be useful for doing that kind of thing. So that might happen. We'll see. Might have like infantry hops into the transport copter goes here. You can drop the infantry off here. Recon strike, infantry strike kills off this infantry, and then you have a T-copter here, infantry recon. And you can put this infantry here, and it makes it pretty difficult to make it to the copter. Might be better to have a strike over here. Then this tank's probably the weak point, if that's the way it goes. Looks like we're just going to put an infantry in front. Bring the T-copter back to transport infantry. Sounds good. Yeah, this is going to be the weak point anyway. Breaks through the tank. Down goes the infantry. Down goes the copter. Tank strike from the city. Still some units ready to fight down here, but it looks like Barracks got a successful breakthrough. It's going to go for these captures now. And the Neo tank backup. Pretty difficult. A lot of these captures aren't going through just yet, though. So there's still a nice income lead. The Great Saiyaman for now. Copter decides to charge in and just go after the infantry. Does take out the anti-air. And there wasn't one en route yet. So the copter is currently unopposed. Oh, interesting. Okay, we're going to try and take out all the infantry so that the corner, even if the army dies, the corner doesn't really fall. There's currently one infantry down here. It's a 7k income lead, so the Great Saiyaman can definitely absorb a lot of hits here. I'm so sorry, Hima. I don't actually know what the winner of the third contest is yet. I did see it was announced, but I haven't seen it. But I will never abandon my penguins. Okay. Infantry went for a fight over here, so it's injured, although, I mean, Andy can always heal it up. It does mean that these cities are not getting flipped anytime soon. You see the Neo tank over here. They go in, just fight these tanks. Cover up the Neo tank, sure. Get the bomber built. I mean, a 7k income lead's pretty nice. It's not quite like completely GG, because we're dealing like 27k versus 20k income, so the 27 is obviously advantaged, but it's not like you can't fight that with 20k. Gasp. I'm so sorry, Humida. Your favorite submission got first? Oh, it's dinosaurs. Wow. Silver Claw. Okay, Neo tank backing up. Ooh, so Barracks completely kicked out of the corner here. Might be trying to do a big old front switch. I would definitely advise that. You tend to want to have your vehicles go to the front that has the infantry. You were so excited. Oh no. Okay. Great Saiyaman going way down in time here. Playing like a me. Captures the map here for Barracks. Definitely agree. This corner was kind of a lost cause. You can let the infantry start to build up over here, and then you could have your vehicles potentially switch back. A bomber. It's hunting down the Neo tank. Got to be careful. Andy Mirror's a little toxic when it comes to bombers. If an Andy anti-air with its super and one comm tower hits your bomber, there's a slight, I don't remember if it's a slight chance or not, but there's a roll, I'll say, for whether or not the anti-air kills your bomber. And that's a big deal. Obviously, a Andy bomber surviving at 1 is so much better than a Andy bomber dying, because the Andy bomber goes down to 1, it gives Andy a ton of charge, and then Andy hits the super, and suddenly it's a 6 health bomber. So that roll is a little infamous. And oftentimes I would personally prefer to have an Andy fighter to deal with the Andy bombers rather than trying to rely on the anti-air. I mean, penguins obviously win against space dinos. Everyone knows that. Okay, so it looks like the Great Saiyaman is just kind of front switching along with Barracks here. As a fighter. One city is flipping. A bunch of infantry do go down. Oof. Leading with the copters, though. I really don't like it. Understandably, Barracks is feeling a little desperate at this point, so I think this is just a desperation play. It's gonna get very heavily punished. All the copters go down. Great Saiyaman used a super, and I missed it. No, I just didn't. I guess it wasn't. I mean, it was punished in that like they all died, but it's not the worst because there's still a lot of units to come in here and kind of like counter cleanup. Obviously, this bomber is going to be a huge problem. Barracks didn't use power here. He's trying to save it for a very efficient moment. The Great Saiyaman is down in units, but way up in unit count. It does feel like a Sunday, doesn't it? To win the ongoing space war, White Nova has summoned dinos to beat the penguins. That's White Nova for you. All right. Fighter goes in, takes out a copter. I assume the Neo tanks are just going to clear the way for the bomber. Okay, we're not going to do it that way. That's fine. He's just going to use the normal power for the +10/+10 stats. Kill off the mech, kill off the tank, kill off the anti-air, kill off the Neo. It lives at 1. Kill off the Neo. Very chill over here, I agree. Pretty nasty attack. We do get to flip the cities. They're even in income. But then Barracks resigns. Yeah, Barracks is got absolutely walloped in that fight in the end. GG. It looked like that early game. I mean, a transport copter getting to transport stuff, and then the recon response just kind of dying is tends to be pretty bad, especially when it's happening on that scene. GG. Well played, Great Saiyaman. Well played, Barracks. I liked the attempt at the comeback. The front switch was good. got Chief Noob versus King Steven. Oh yeah, I know this map. This was in a tournament, right? It'll be fun to hear the lore of the dinos for sure. Does the original creator make the lore? Is that how it works? Is that how I want them to face, or do I want the double bases facing each other? I guess I'll have the double bases. Oh, they are. They are. Now they are. Forever knows the time Voice of Akasha lost in the tournament. Ah. Oh, that map. Yeah. With the bunch of maxes. We don't have max this time, though. We've got Sasha versus Von Bolt. It's a little bit mixed base going on here. In the Voice of Akasha versus Rip game, we saw central bases get taken out. Could potentially see that here. It's pretty common to go for these cities, I believe, and you can guard them very easily with an artillery. Okay. Chief Noob's going to go with an early copter here. Try and leverage that money. King Steven doesn't respond at all, just kind of builds another tank. This tank will get to pick on this infantry, potentially. I guess a tank can be built to defend it. We might see that. We do see that. Let's make this tank movements feel a little silly. Antair's kind of forced at this point. I'm surprised we don't see. I guess the tank was kind of okay. The tank was forced over here. Typically, you would see like tank copters, the two-hit attack against the lone base. It's hard to build one thing to defend against both of those things. But an anti-air can defend against a copter plus just infantry just fine. This tank is defending this comm tower, although the comm tower is under a little bit of threat from more than just these tanks. Potentially 2 tanks versus 2 tanks. King Steven should probably just go tank strike. Not from the forest because you get hit by this tank. We can go tank strike, infantry strike, and bring this other tank over. Whoa, oh, not there. Not like that. Or if you want, just go single infantry strike, start the capture over here. Really want like both tanks to be ready. That is not how I would do it though. While this is better terrain, it's in range of the base. Kind of setting up Chief Noob to have a really nice fight. Wow. Really? Sends the tank up here? I guess the infantry are like outnumbered. So very much concerned about these just kind of taking the fight very positively, I guess. But this does mean that going in with this tank is no longer a good idea if it's not being supported. Just like running with this infantry alone would probably be better. Okay, yeah, well this... Okay. First, of course, take your comm tower. But yeah, this is looking really good for King Steven. The tank just kind of goes down for effectively half a tank. copter does get to capture over here. Now this base is in huge trouble. The copter coming in is actually guarding this tank, although I guess the infantry just blocking are also guarding the tank. And it's going to be 3 tanks and a copter coming in against just 2 tanks. Oh no! A little bit of map blindness here. Maybe blindness. Copter goes, oh, there's an anti-air here. I need to get out of there. It doesn't cover right here, but there's an anti-air right here as well. So down goes the copter. Maybe it was known about. Maybe it's like, that's fine. I'll just use both my tanks here to smack the anti-air off the HQ. But then, like, this tank can support that and everything. There's no tanks covering these guys. This anti-air's going to have a little field day. Looks like King Stephen's going to be double comm tower bomb bolt. Against comm towerless Sasha. Ouch. Sends the tank up here. Why'd the anti-air go there? Medium tank. Are we not going to kill the copter? Stop the infantry. Does kill the copter. Yeah. I think it just over here. Chief noob. Oh, it was more. It was actually. Oh, it was triple comm tower. Oh, I forgot about these ones. It was triple comm tower fumble. 1 for Sasha, yeah. At least Sasha had 1. Okay, goes in to take this one. Fred, one of the Freds taking 1 for the team. 1 for that first strike where you come out even. Ooh, oh my gosh. Bomb bolt privilege. Just let the anti-airs bully the tanks. Okay, but this is a nice swing for Chief Noob. Looks like King Stephen didn't build from this base at all. And there's nothing in range of this combo. So, we're going to go back to 2 and 2. There's also pressure being put on this one. Although, this tank went into range of this medium tank. So, this comm tower is definitely remaining in King Stephen's control. Okay. I would have stopped swinging at the anti-air, but that's okay. Also, don't hit this medium tank. It's probably better to just have the copter either finish off the anti-air, or you can continue to like this round on the anti-air if you want. Kill off this tank. But this doesn't do much. Like, you kind of injure your copter, the medium tank gets repaired back up to 10. You have to pay for it, but it's not that big of a deal. It's not usually. What? Definitely send the medium tank up here. It gets to hit a tank. Anti-airs are indeed bullying the tanks. Are we not stopping this? Okay, okay. The 6Ls did go for the swing. Well, now that joint cap, like the joint cap on the comm tower is looking pretty nice now. I mean, the medium tank didn't come over there. Chief Noob now equal in comm towers. Medium tank is to kill an infantry, or a tank, I should say. We do have a bunch of cities flipping though. It goes down. Near the capture. This tank can reach, so it can save it. Sasha's at like 28 properties right now to 23, but King Stephen's going to start taking a bunch of these. anti-air built over here. Copter shenanigans. King Steven's so sad of going down from the comm tower lead like that is so painful. What? Speaking of going down the comm tower lead, the tank doesn't come in here to try and save the comm tower. Finishes off this tank, letting this comm tower go. Medium tank just kind of... This is what you really don't want to have this medium tank doing, because now it would have been better off just built from the double base rather than sticking around with the base. Fighting up the tanks over there. You kill off this tank. Now they're equal in properties. 26 to 26. Sasha manages to get the 3-1 comm tower lead now. Base is, for Sasha, is looking a little bit dicey over here. The medium tank can still free the anti-air though, so that's pretty nice. Here, tanks. Just gonna go after the infantry. I'm okay with that. Here comes the reinforcing infantry. GetGood looks like they're going to save this base. I mean, the artillery is going to come in range of it soon, but GetGood does have a lot of cash. So we started just building bigger vehicles to survive artillery. Whoa! Okay, okay, gets the kill on the anti-air. Does get to start the capture here, but we do have anti-air and medium tank, right? Can't block it off. Both copters went down for that. They won't be able to clear this with just one shot. So maybe this will result losing the base. Still insanely expensive. We'll see how it goes. It's quite the sacrifice. You probably don't even have to lose both copters, right? You can just go back to see. You don't even have to lose any copters. You can go tank strike first. Copter hits from here. Copter hits from here. Oh wait, no. Let's see. Wrong turn. There we go. Yeah, you still don't have to. 1, 2, 5, 6. This one can hit from here. The order relatively doesn't matter. You might have to send like an infantry in once. A sacrifice. So you don't even have to sacrifice that though, because you can attack from the mountain. Just do the tank first. Doesn't matter. It looks fancy. Fancy matters. Market crash. Smack. So close. Bomb bolt defense privilege right there. That does mean that the join caps are not going to be amazing, and there's going to be a huge fight over these mountains, because as soon as a Sasha infantry can get onto these mountains, that base gets cleared. There's that tank. Continue capturing over there. How are we locking? I mean, the artillery can lock this down a little bit, but medium tanks and anti-airs hit those infantry on the bases for the same amount. Okay. Things down here looking pretty good for bomb bolt currently. They're even in properties. were. This copter could be annoying and stand in. This capture starts going through. We have the artillery heading over here. That will also be a way of saving the base. Medium tank decides to go after the tank and just have the anti-air strike again. Down to 2. Okay. Only a single infantry is really threatening. The artillery definitely hits anti-air pretty hard. Knocks it all the way down to 1. This mountain is occupied. A single infantry is still going to be enough to interrupt this, though. So the artillery can show up. Ooh, although a lot of the infantry kind of walked away from the base. So we'll see how it goes. Medium tank goes for the first strike on the Neo. Goes for this comm tower. You have a Neo tank covering this. I think this is going to go pretty well for Sasha. Definitely needs to do a market crash because King Stephen's getting really close to the Von Bolt Super. That was really bad news for Chief Noob. This King Stephen infantry is stopping this medium tank from reaching here. And I think that means that his base has now officially fallen. But Chief Noob... Oh, wait. Chief Noob didn't... No. It's Chief Noob's turn. Okay. Chief Noob is still going to want the market crash. Very sad that this base fell. I thought the defense was working out pretty well. Fighting elsewhere in the map. Looking pretty nice for Chief Noob, as we can tell from the unit value lead here. Losing that base, obviously not ideal. King Stephen gets it. King Stephen starts going for this comm tower. A lot of the stuff over here is undefended. Nothing got built from these two bases. Not only did Chief Noob lose a base, but then also double base skipped. Don't need no bases. Okay. Copter. First strike over here. Chief Noob cleanup looking nice. King Stephen can pretty much just spam almost just megas out of this base at this point. It'd be pretty good. Although obviously the HQ is a major concern. Actually, I don't know. I was going to say I definitely agree with the medium tank coming down here to help with the HQ, but maybe it's fine with like already the units here, and this could just walk over here and kill this artillery and keep everything occupied. But going down here also makes sense. Chief Noob spent all their money, which is really bad because they need to market crash Von Bolt out of this world. Otherwise, this HQ capture is going to go really poorly. Also, an opposing HQ capture that's going on at the same time. Okay, we're starting off with a market crash. Good sign. Clearing the HQ. Stepping onto the HQ. A little wild to me that this guy finished the capture. Because it might be needed to be a blocker. I guess it's also a blocker there, so that's okay. Tank goes here. Ugh. Kind of sad. rocket is actually in range of that tile. Okay. And there's nothing, absolutely nothing in range of this HQ. So this is complete all or nothing. I think the rocket plus the Neo 2 health Neo tank gets this kill. Oh my gosh, but the rocket didn't fire? Wait, no, the rocket can just shoot the 7. You can just shoot the 7 and the infantry interrupts. They don't even have to go after this one. It's still fine though, right? Because this guy can just hit here and then this guy interrupts. Yeah, it's still fine. It's still fine. Oh my gosh. Don't move the rocket. Hyper's built. There's nothing guarding this HQ. So that is just GG. Fire off the Ex Machina. Finish all the captures. Decides to do a bunch of attacks. HQ. Oh my gosh. It does almost feel like a high funds map. If Chief Noob had like anything left over here, then I think that would have been well played, well played. Very back and forth. Got Hun Sniper versus Mind Commander. Elite Speak. This is how you knew this player was probably playing on Battle.net back in the day. Early 2000s or whatever. Okay. It's a Kindle mirror. It's Scavenger. Away we go. I still don't like this map. Mind Commander's name just matches up perfectly with it. That player recently removed the checkmark from their Discord account. Battle.net was kind of like chat room in combination with like a league in combination with custom games for Blizzard, so Warcraft and Starcraft. You go into channels and that would be a chat log, and you could also be joining games and or playing in tournaments or playing. It's kind of like if the Advanced Wars by Web website had Discord as part of it, rather than the Discord being separate. Good times, good times. But right now we've got Kindle. Elite Speak was fun, yeah. Okay. We've got artillery first versus tank first. I feel like a recon first is really strong on this map. The artillery first is fine, but you gotta be a little bit wary if you start breaking down the pipe seams. I think typically it goes from the other front, like down here. So they're going up and around like this, so they can fire from the city, kill the pipe seam in 2 turns. But if you like fire from the pipe at the pipe seam right now, there's only one way that happens, and that's if you like that. That's if you build the artillery first. And what that tells the opposing player is that any attack on any front is going to be free for like 2 turns. Fortunately, Hun Sniper is not like doing any aggro plays, so it's probably going to be okay. Like a little bit of aggressive marching with the infantry, but that's okay. Like this tank doesn't have to hide unless it's trying to hide from recon vision, I guess. Artillery is known about. Okay, the pipe seam is broken. It does allow for a much faster access from this base to go like towards this HQ. At this stage in the game, it doesn't really matter because there's not going to be much fighting yet about like in this region where having the accelerated unit, unless you're doing like a massive offense, I guess, at this timing, then it would matter. As you can see, it's still fairly early game, so it's a little overkill. It's going to work out though. There wasn't any punish for it. Recon over here, so daring for the charge in. Is my voice level super variable? No. That's probably what's happening is I keep moving my head away from the microphone. That would be my guess. I need to somehow glue it to my face. Get a headset. Talking away from the mic, exactly. I'll do better, I'll do better. Smack. Smack. Is it still going in and out? I'm talking more into the mic like I should be. Glue the mic to the underside of my beak. Just get more mics, that's true. Okay. Smackety smack. Infantry going for the attacks up here. Tank takes out not my infantry, Hun Sniper's infantry. Very dangerous to sit next to cities against Kindle, of course. Oprah, but with mics, yeah. Okay. Ooh, okay, going for the first. Oh no, we have a copter already. So they both have a copter. Oh, there's a copter right there too. Oh my gosh. Down goes the recon. Oh, it barely lives. Recons are so bad at killing recons. Recon and infantry go in. Fortunately for Hun Sniper, this artillery doesn't actually cover this. There's a lot of units that already do though, so it's not that fortunate, I guess. The vehicles right now are kind of spread out all over. This guy is trying to like straddle the difference between the fronts. Can be very dangerous. There's no anti-airs right now from Mine Commander. We do have one for Hun Sniper. It's going to show up like just in time to match with the incoming copters. I'm a para-educator. I work in special education. In a transition program. So ages 18 to 21. Public school. I do sometimes teach math in that capacity, but I'm not a full-fledged math teacher. I work in a, we call it I think it's called it's level 1. So it's like medically fragile students. A lot of those. But for some reason that required an advanced math degree. It didn't require that. That's a degree. That's like a stepping stone degree for for graduate school to follow. Okay. But that is not what's going on in this game. We do have a huge front shift for Hun Sniper. All of the vehicles going up here. Same thing going for Mine Commander. All the vehicles are going to the same front. That can definitely turn into a gigantic brawl. A little skeleton crew trying to defend over here. I'm not sure whether or not you should have the infantry chilling in these woods, because it's kind of very much expected. And I think most times an attack comes in over here, what happens is that these infantry just die, and then the cities start getting captured, and the infantry don't really do, like, they're as much of an early warning system as just your cities getting captured. Like, that all happens in the same turn. So I think it's fine to have them a little bit further back, just to try and keep them alive. So a big ol' attack here from Mine Commander. We do pop the Urban Blight. Unfortunately, we do have some like tanks next to cities here. This one was kind of unavoidable. Mine Commander forgot the prophylactic anti-air. Oh no! They do not know. I can't tell. Coworkers know. I can't tell students, because this is technically a social media thing, and you are you are specifically, banned's not the right word, but yeah, prohibited from like advertising social media stuff at all, or even contacting students over social media, like that kind of thing. Urban Blight, blam. The single tank strike. Probably don't Urban Blight there if it's for a single attack. High Society's even been recently buffed, so I mean, the buff is probably before this game, or after this game, I should say. None of my students watch the stream, or if they do watch the stream, they did not find it through me. Students shouldn't have to deal with their teachers outside of school. I think the copter sitting on the city was just an accident. It's one of those accidents that you make only a few times, and then you're like, okay, I just don't do that against Kindle. Recons running in. Does give some really nice vision of what's going on with the army. Anti-air leading the charge. They do get to take out the artillery. I would just use this tank instead of the anti-air, because you really don't want that to just die and then you get swarmed by copters, which it kind of looks like it's going to happen. The two infantries over here leaving the very slight shelter of the forest got annihilated, and now these properties are under risk. The artillery gets to fire on the recon. The copter comes in. Ooh, this anti-air can still reach, so it's not the end of the world there. The anti-air does go down. So this copter is going to be unopposed. We're going to go for an Urban Blight. Bop, bop. Finish off this tank. Get that tank. Got this infantry. This has actually been damaged. I think it just wasn't updated visual stuff. And next turn we'll see it. I assume this infantry is going to clear here. Maybe not. Maybe it's scare this artillery. Scare there. Okay, that works. Things are looking really nice for Mine Commander. Down goes that copter, so the Xantair does get its value. Although it did have to pay repairs again. start. I do wear I have a penguin buddy that I stand on the shoulders of. We wear a long coat. You gotta keep the penguin status on the DL. Okay, Mind Commander looking real nice. Already up in income. We got some properties that are pretty much free. Down goes the anti-air. The artillery does get to fire. I think this tank can reach, but it doesn't really want to. Oh, Mind Commander overly safe. Now I'm going to try and go for these cities. There was some stuff ready to interrupt, but I think the artillery would have been enough with the infantry. Okay. Honestly, not so bad for a Hun Sniper as a turn. You clear that city. I don't know if you really want to have anything attack from it, though. The tank wants to. Okay, take out the infantry. This city is so exposed, but it's not going to get captured. Mind Commander doing this. Okay. So the Hun Sniper power worked out all right. Looks like we're just trying to do a big regroup. We might have a HQ race kind of evolve from this. Only one artillery per front or per side or player here. So there's not like enough of them to really charge the HQ. I guess you just need one. The Urban Blights have been hitting these. A few more Urban Blights, you don't even need an artillery. A Neo tank right now is probably enough anyway. So they could both charge the HQs at this point and try and take them out with the direct units. Okay, we're not having an HQ race. We're going to have a last stand, hold the line here. Neo tank versus medium tank. Whoa. Mind Commander decided to go in for that first strike. It does block this way. And get the Urban Blight to follow up as well. A huge attack. I think the Neo tank can die here. Like Urban Blight smack in, then maybe the tank can follow up. No, not quite. I think if this got knocked down to 3, the copter gets the kill. That works out, and then these tanks can get through. This artillery is in a nice spot. We don't have too much to counter like this copter right now. But it looks like Hun Sniper is going to hold. Does get a little feisty with these infantry again. It's going to end up costing a little bit. Whoa, going for that capture. Absolutely wild. Ooh, okay, so nothing was able to deal with these 2 copters. There's a 3rd copter on the way. This could be a little bit bad. I guess there's still these ones. Like, this copter's going to go down. Like so. My gosh. So I think this is just a big old wash in this attack. Mind Commander's still ahead in unit count. We don't have quite enough anti-airs out in the field currently. But for the most part, this is falling back, just going for 2 more captures. Let's see if Hun Sniper uses the Urban Blight. Okay. We do. Sends the recon in to interrupt. You don't have to charge in immediately after the Urban Blight, of course. You can let it let you set up for a turn. Won't be seeing too many Kindle versus Kindle matches anymore. Astro Kindle's getting moved around in the tiers. Huge attacks over here. I think the Hun Sniper can still hold. Obviously, Mind Commander is now also in a lot of hot water around this HQ. There's some infantry walking over. We're going to have to start sending stuff down here to defend it. A 1 health black boat isn't going to be holding against anything. Okay, Hunt Sniper resigns. Was definitely down in unit value. I think he's still going to be able to hold the HQ here. If my commander like sends the tanks down here, though, I don't think that HQ is falling. But there's definitely an attempt available to try and go for this HQ. Although all the other move outs the Hunt Sniper did down here kind of ended in a catastrophe, so I can understand not wanting to do that. GG. King Rex is a huge Kindle fan. He's happy about the buff, but might be sad about less Kindles. We got zootriot? Might be zootriot versus GetGood. I'm going to get through all of the new submitters, it looks like. We have another grit game. Looks like this is a live game. So it was a lot of fun. All right. Less Kindle's good for more variety. True, true. It's a live league fog tier 1. King Rex Kindle for tier 3. Go all out, King Rex. Kindle for tier 4. Nothing but Kindle mirrors. Every time I've played Max against Kindle, I've been very happy. That's only happened in Fog, though, basically. My experience. Lash fans rejoice. Zootriot. Is it Zootriot or is it Zootriot? Triot? All right. You're right. If you're here, you get to be Cobalt Ice. GetGood can be Yellow Comet. And away we go. I think I've seen this map before. Yeah, I definitely have. Like the black boat over here. Although, I think when I last saw this map, you actually had to break pipe seam to get back here. Something like that. It's a little weird now. What's this black boat doing? I guess it's just here to spot the units that come in to go for the airport and then spot the air units coming out. It's a Zoot Suit Riot. Ah. Kindle was tier 3. There is no tier 5. Tier 4 is as low as you go. Okay. Zoot Suit Riot. Going for the recon first. It makes sense. Wants to go and harass Grit. Grit does go with an early artillery. Usually in Fog, it's kind of recommended that Grit goes with early tanks just because the recon harassment is most likely coming your way. Ooh, Zoot Suit Riot with an early base skip to get this tank. You know what that means? That means we get to follow this tank and see if it does anything to warrant the base skip. Because it could have been built just like a turn later. And then there's another infantry walking around. Okay, it's moved up here. If there was like an insanely fast recon rush, it would have been ready for that. Okay, as we can see, this is why we kind of suggest, at least in Fog, to build early tanks as Grit, because look at the feast that zootriot's going to get down here. Nothing is covered. Oh, but zootriot is too cautious, too scared of the artillery. It'd be very difficult. It'd be like impossible for these to be covered by artillery. These ones, it would be possible. There's tier 5 and it's grim. That's not true. Right. This tank. Did this tank just move 3 tiles? Okay, this tank officially should not have been base skipped. Recon does get to trap this infantry. Well, very aggressive Grit. Goes for the smack. Does have the comm tower here and has a nice little wall for this artillery to cover it. We'll see how long this wall lasts. We do have 2 tanks coming in. Pop, that tank does respond over there. Oh no! Okay, it's not the end of the world. We do start the comm tower capture. The artillery is going to get the shot here. It's going to be painful, but you know, you're fighting Grit. You kind of have to expect it's going to happen. Oof, knocked all the way down to 1. Ooh, but not finished off, so it can go back to heal, or it can just be used as a pretty decent scout. Grit's going to go for both comm towers. All right. Whoa, that's so risky. It doesn't have to be risky here. So instead of stepping off the comm tower with this infantry, you can just move like this 1 health tank here if you want to check. It has 3 vision. Like, it's so likely that there would be an infantry there. You just get trapped and cry. But in this case, it worked out. The 1 health tank does go back to heal. I approve. It is Fog of War after all. Smack around this comm tower. The artillery is locking the comm towers, looking good. This artillery not looking so happy. We're going to continue to try and save this comm tower here for GetGood. It does look like all of the defending units are probably going to get taken out here. The artillery is not quite going to be able to defend, assuming that these tanks attack from the far side. Bap. It's fine to go in here. I don't think I would, just because the artillery is known about. And the copter already did enough to interrupt. Okay. This tank definitely should have gone, like, over here. It's definitely daring to be within artillery range of the forest. Oh my god, don't give up the comm tower, though. I guess you have to because this guy's still here. If you go around the other side, then you don't have to give up the capture. The comm tower is still going to go down, I think, for zootriot. This is just so many tanks. And the artillery, like the artillery walling was very cute when there's a low number of units like that. But at this point, it's going to be very difficult for GetGood to move beyond this like forest choke point with the artillery as all of these units start swarming in. I probably wouldn't power there just because I wouldn't be expecting the extra range for Grit to matter. Grit's got a 3-bar charge, so you don't try and play it like I'm going to drain you all the time, because it's just not going to be feasible to keep them. away from a normal power for the whole game. So instead you just kind of let them build up when it doesn't matter, and you only charge when it matters. If they want to do a really bad power, they can do a really bad power. That's fine. I do like the little setups that GetGood's been doing, though. Unfortunately, I think the comp tower is falling a little. It's so difficult to like extend out to maintain control over this. The tanks are going to get shelled by these artillery, but as long as they trade out for other artillery, then zootriot is going to be doing just fine. The artillery in the woods here for GetGood is doing some serious work. And I like to maintain control over this comm tower, but this is the same kind of situation that we were seeing over here. You gotta be so careful as Grit here, because these little infantry walls, they work against like 1 or 2 units, but as soon as zootriot sends more vehicles over here, you just get broken through and you'll lose everything. It's so tragic. It happens to all of us Grit players. Not that I really call myself a Grit player, but I've been forced to play Grit in the past. Okay. Oh man. Also, I'll say, as Grit, I wouldn't worry too much about the comm towers. Obviously, it would be super nice to have 2 comm towers, because then like your direct vehicles are like they're regular. But what's more important to you as Grit is that your opponent doesn't have comm towers, because you want your walls to stay alive. Your artillery already get +1 range, plus 20% attack. They don't really need the artillery, or the artillery, the comm towers. So in general, I would stick to more just deny, and you take it if it's free, but you don't want to run into a situation like this where you take it and then you're unable to maintain control over it. They take it, and now they have a comm tower, and they have an easier time breaking all your walls. And you just kind of cry. So here, GetGood's got a nice little formation going on, you know, right outside the base range, essentially. And what does that mean? It means this is very secure for GetGood. These are not. So like these cities, this comm tower obviously fell. These cities are not kind of the next to fall. It's going to be really difficult to continue to get more and more control. Anti-air zooms on out here, is covered by an artillery, which is nice. It didn't find the copter. The copter manages to escape. Oh my gosh, so daring. Also, look at those Grit problems. Copter plus infantry fails to get the kill on an infantry. So the artillery is guarding the copter against anti-air. And you would typically expect there to be anti-air over here. But the joke's on GetGood, there isn't a single anti-air. The artillery will not do very well guarding against the copters. And again, the walling is going to be really difficult to pull off, as you can see. Now that there's like quite a few units over here, it's just so easy to break through. Get some pick-offs. Looks like we're doing a sacrifice play, but the sacrifice doesn't go through. I think they probably could have gone even worse for GetGood. As is, I mean, 2 artillery are still alive. The copters are a bit of a problem. But we'll at least get some potential firing off, or shots fired here for GetGood. The artillery are really bad at front switching, so we can't really expect too much reinforcement coming over from this front. But we are going to get a comm tower. I think. So So one comes over. It can't move and shoot though. So it's like it like comes over and it becomes a new liability. It has to be walled for. And this is where the artillery they always get stuck in this conundrum, and that like the wall is partially broken, so they're not dead. If they stand here and fire, they don't kill all the tanks. And they don't defend themselves with like retaliation, right? So they don't effectively have a wall. If they stay here and fire, they'll hit some tanks and then they'll die. If they retreat, then this attack was like totally free for zootriot. So you kind of have to attack even though it's not amazing. Probably should have had one artillery shot shoot a tank and then the mech attack a different one for just maximal damage. We're going to try and hold the line here. It might work. I mean, the reinforcement routes from these bases is pretty nice. Have another artillery guarding these artillery. The main thing is going to be whether or not zootriot can do other things around the map while this is going on. Like, obviously, if these cities all fall while this fight's going on, it's effectively even trade out, then that's going to be really good for Sasha. Although right now, the bottom left is looking pretty good for GetGood. Ooh, okay. Oh, wow. The sense to send just the copters in. They are going to be immune to the artillery shots, obviously. You gotta anticipate the incoming anti-air components. Falling back with the tanks, totally fine. I don't think it's that bad to trade them all out for the artillery. The tanks are really flexible, easy to replace. The artillery, they're slower, and they like massing up more than the tanks do, because tanks get in the way of other tanks. Artillery, of course, have range. So if you can trade your tank out for a great artillery, you usually go for it. But it's not the worst, like former concave and then strike later. We're gonna go for this city up here. Kill off. Not gonna kill off the anti-air. We're gonna save this city. Take out the infantry. This is gonna be definitely a case of the artillery is just doomed. It can try and run away. It doesn't have great coverage to run back towards, so it's just gonna like fire at a tank and then die. As Sasha, if you want to start leveraging your cash to really make Grit unhappy, you can, of course, just spam a bunch of copters. But if you want, you can tech up big time. You can go straight to mega tanks. You'll note that the artillery balls, they move really slowly across the map. And artillery kind of suck against mega tanks. I don't think if all these artillery fired at a mega tank, especially if it's like out of the city, because on the plains maybe, I don't think they killed the mega tank. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2 of them injured. It's just that good. The mega tank will one-shot anything that's used as a wall, and just kind of be a lethal machine. Okay, side of the map just kind of crumbles. Might be even a little overkill with the unit investment, but that's okay. Decides to send news down here to save the comm tower. I think it's fine to just let the comm tower go. This notion called it like a poison property, where it's like, I would call this comm tower a poison property. This city would be a poison property, where it's being captured and you can like send stuff in to try and save it, but you just lose everything, and then you lose the property too. So defending it was poisonous for you to have it, because it made you invest units and lose all of them. And you would just be better off not even having it. Pop. Copter zooms in. Hits The artillery. Ooh, we have an injured infantry here as part of this wall. There's no anti-air though, so you can't just like completely break in, kill the copter and everything. Getting just right in the range of the base. This is a bit of an overextension, but we're going for a lot of city captures, so it's putting on a ton of pressure. Oh no, this is a live game, so Zoo Suit Riot times out. Doesn't get the buys, doesn't start this capture. Does get punished a bit over here. Looks like these properties are probably going to fall. We might start seeing the megas start coming out now that so much money just got floated. Now this capture starts going through. Hit this tank. Gonna let this stuff go, I would suggest. Okay, we're just gonna go with the light buys. All right. The light buys can also work because you can just overwhelm, especially if grid has to kind of space themselves out like this. Yeah, the city doesn't fall. Looks like this one will. A bunch of these cities start getting captured. Whoa, leading with anti-air copter. So daring for GetGood. We're on day 19, so we're not at like day limit yet. But to me, it looks like everything invested on the right side here for GetGood is just going to get annihilated. Unless Zoo Suit Riot just runs out of time. Looks like they're doing okay. Are they not able to save this city? Okay. Probably fine. I guess you don't have to market crash here, but this is the kind of the spot you would market crash. You don't know necessarily where all those artillery could be in the darkness. You don't want to get that extra range and get you. Decided to go with Neos. Sure. Neos aren't super resilient against artillery, but they do move 6 and they wall break pretty well. So it makes sense. Currently at 21 properties versus 17. So Sasha to be happy. This is where the Neo can be really sad. Tanks can try and help out, but it's just gonna like trade itself out for an artillery. And that's where megas, I mean the mega wouldn't get there because it's too slow at this point, but that's the kind of play a mega tank can go for, or it just kind of charges forward and it don't care how many artillery are staring at it. We did run out of time there, still floating 15k. Neo goes down. It goes down to 2, so it's still technically alive. Still a ton of tanks in the back here. GetGood didn't use a power, so there's no extra defense. All of the artilleries get cleaned up by the support. Comm tower under threat. The artillery can try and delay it. Going for the snipe attack now. It will let a few one shot come in that wasn't available before. But it looks like GetGood is just getting a little overwhelmed here. All of these cities are captured. This one's going back into Zoo Suit Riot's control. Just going for the sides. Definitely the way you want to fight grit. If there's a giant ball of artillery, it can be pretty strong, but as we saw, as soon as it had to be stretched out on multiple fronts, it just kind of collapses. Whoa. Did do enough damage to deny the comm tower. Had to knock it down to 1 or kill it. It did do so. Anti-air goes down. There was no join cap, so if this gets tagged by anything, it goes down. Okay. I would expect a few more recons for Sasha would probably be a good idea. You really want to be able to spot the weaknesses in the grit formations. Find the artillery and kill them all. You do get the double comm tower captures. We're still up 20 properties to 18. Now also 2 comm towers on top of that. So it's day 25. Assuming this is live league, 5 more days, and then it's going to be just victory by day limit, which makes Grit really dislike the live part of the game, because now Grit has to actually push out and try and get captures. Ooh, we're going for 2 of them. That would, if the comm tower and the city flipped, that would be enough for a draw. We'll see if GetGood can get there. Making things at this point would probably be too late, so just going for the really quick units is wise. We do have some recons now. Highly recommended. Looks like this city might fall. I mean, at this point, I guess it's not too big of a deal for Sasha to just, like, sacrifice everything to save cities. In live standard because of the day limit. I think they'd just be worried that Grit is going to be too good at going for draws on some maps. Wasn't join capped, so a tank could sacrifice itself if it wanted to delay it capture, but it's also fine to lose that city. Still come out on top. Rest in peace, Neo tanks. Comm tower in danger. This city flips though. They're both at 19 properties right now. That city, those cities, unfortunately, not able to full health there. Smack. Things are going to be very painful down here. It looks like this comm tower is probably going to be falling. We might have some cities falling too. Day 28, we're getting really close to the day limit issue. Day 29, okay, never mind. Zootriot is the first player, so there's just this turn and then next turn. So that's the city guarantees the win. This is the last turn to go for captures that can matter. Day 30, and that should be GG at the end of GetGood's turn, unless the day limit is longer than 30. If the day limit is longer than 30, then things are going to be more of an issue, but if not. GG. You saw how far Zootriot was having to like push in to deal with the Grit army, but oftentimes you just don't fight it when it's that far back. You just go for the sides, force it to move out, and then smack it. G. Is that the last? One more. There's one more. No, this is the one that I think got sent a long time ago and got lost somehow. Tournament game, Scavenger. Don't think I covered this. According to my folder. I'll try and cover it quickly. Apparently Soblet might be up against me soon. We've got Kindle versus Lash. Usually, Kindle's going to be very favored, and I don't in this matchup, and I imagine probably even more so on this map because it tends to be very terrain light, except for the urban terrain. Like there's no missile platforms. There's only really like one mountain that's rarely interacted with. For the most part, otherwise it's going to be cities or plains. That's not great for Lash when fighting Kindle, because Kindle's just better on the cities. Unless Lash has her super active, of course, but then the Urban Blight makes Lash really sad. We do have an interesting recon here. For Lash, it went down here and then over. I don't know if it's trying to find an opposing recon doing that. Sneed's going to try and break through this pipe seam, but the double artillery shot, tank shot, that only works if you have 10% firepower. Lash can do it because of the extra firepower of being in the woods with the artillery. That's an interesting opening. So Sneed is going artillery, tank, then recon. Soblet gets a recon strike from the forest onto an infantry on the road. Almost gets a one-shot. Artillery fires, lets the tank through, lets the recon through. I think this recon spies just the one. Doesn't see this tank. Although the tank should be known about if Soblet was paying attention to the pipe seam. I guess it would be either a tank or a mech. Should hold all the penguins standing in the same direction. No. The penguin's not standing in the same direction. This guy, that's Fred. That lets you can tell who was you can tell the original tropes, where they're going in the world. There's only one not standing. Well, and the black one. It's a 5. Going for this capture. Doesn't have going for this one. This is where recon's gonna be really nice, harassing down here. Go for the central captures. We do have a nice Lash artillery in the woods. Definitely get some nice value. It's going to get some value here. It's actually a little bit overloaded, but that's okay. He'll probably be fine. It has backup tanks after all. Down goes the recon. I assume down goes the other recon. So artillery comes over here. A little bit. Semi-grit. Chilling on the city here. It's fine right now because there's no Urban Blight on the way. Artillery gets tagged, but it's actually covered by another artillery. So that's totally fine. This tank, unfortunately, doesn't actually reach down here. So tragic. With opposing artillery on the shoal. This could have gone really bad for Sneed, but I guess this tank down here kind of gives a little bit of like assurance that there isn't too much in the darkness waiting to just like pulverize everything. Since Lash does get the bonus attacking from the cities, it could have been really sad for this artillery. But it's okay. We'll have an Urban Blight available for Kindle here. There's some stuff standing on cities. Lash next to cities. Take out these units. This tank is unfortunately... Didn't have to be. It could have been here, and then it wouldn't be in range of this artillery. But unfortunately, it is in range of that artillery. We one shot here. I do think Lash is fine keeping this artillery here, so it's definitely going to fire. Never mind. Instead of firing, we're going to use 2 tanks. Does the artillery really want to go into these woods? It can't want that because there's this guy here. Okay, the recon does get an attack on that. Take out the anti-air. There's no... It does want to go into the woods. Okay. I guess that's going to be fine. It's a little daring if you ask me. Whoa, Lash goes straight in for the stealth. Okay, it's going to be fine. There's not going to be like a huge smash in over here or anything. Now, I think this map is... it's okay for stealths, but I find that oftentimes people can detect the stealth is coming because the reinforcements tend to come fairly quickly to this front, and then you just like don't see anything for a few turns. You're like, what's going on? And oftentimes they'll build a fighter before the stealth even reveals itself. Thank you, Divvy. What name should we give Fred's black boat? That's a good question. Those are Fred's. That's because... So what's happening there is these players were different countries when we started this game. And when they were those countries, they were facing in this direction. Like Sneed was facing to the left and Soblet was facing to the right. But then when I switched Soblet to Cobalt Ice troops naturally face to the left. So all the future troops that got built face to the left. And Yellow Comet naturally faces to the right. So I didn't have to like adjust. If I manually adjusted it to face to the left, then these also would all. But as is, it will let you know where the Freds were. Here's Fred, the 1st infantry. He's still alive. He's at 4 health. Oh, okay. Rest in peace, Fred. We knew you well. I think if I go back in time, Fred will now face the right. Yeah. Fred loses his identity when he dies. Tragic. Copters up here. Here comes the stealth. Didn't have it. Ooh. Stealth into Lash Super. No Spidey senses triggered for Kindle here. So we'll get to see what this stealth manages to get done. Pretty good attack down here. Usually this is like so dangerous to attack into, but Kindle does have a lot of stuff up here, so it's not really. Go for the Urban Blight. We do have to go for an APC. A classic. The stealth doesn't cost 24k, it actually costs 29k. Because you have to buy the APC. Neo Tank. Soblet here is up in income. A little awkward to use a stealth to kill a recon, but and then it doesn't one-shot recons, but it does also work pretty nicely as a little wall here. Lander, okay, Lander to go back and pick up the rocket. All right, it can be better to have the stealth more of a defensive option, just because it can be really difficult to go after an HQ that has a stealth defending it. Stealth can strike at stuff and occupy tiles over here, and then the black one can refuel it. Then you don't need to build your APC. There's the fighter. So we'll see what the stealth gets done. It does require everything to like run away. It's to hit that infantry. Soblet's able to maintain control over their cities. Stealth has to run next turn. If it sticks around again, it will face a terrible fate. or it has to be like used in a wall very effectively. Those are the other options. Something does have to reveal it. Ooh, get a little boost for the recon. Oh. Okay. It's probably fine. So the stealth was used for combat, but... Oh. Okay, but it's been walled fairly effectively here. Because the fighter has to have something spot the stealth in order to strike it. This is fine. That's a little daring, but it's fine. The tank could clear the way, but then there's nothing in the copter. Oh no, the copter can clear the way. Oh no, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. Because the stealth, like the tank could stand next to the stealth, but then the fighter isn't able to reach. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. So it's okay. It's fine. Wow. Soblet was very much anticipating an HQ all in from Sneed. Sneed is not doing that. So Soblet's going to start losing stuff up here. A lot got invested in this. Recon. Stealth can't reach the Neo. Stealths do hit Neos pretty heavily. Okay, the stealth is super dying this turn. As is, I think, all of Soblet's attacking forces over here. Urban Blight. Down goes the stealth. I didn't quite keep track of everything it killed. It did get some decent hits in there. Not against super pricey stuff, of course. Lander plus rocket 27k. Battleship is 28k. Alright, we got our prime tactics. Huge hit to the unit value when the stealth dies. It does occupy a lot of it. You get to have some captures covered by a rocket here, so that's nice. And there's also nothing contesting these captures, so it's still nice though. Soblet's going to get even more money here, going straight in for a mega tank. Oh, Sneed is a nice little front switch in. Some free hits. This 1 health infantry gets to survive on the mountain and spot everything. The Black Boat does go down to 1 health because of all the urban blights, so an attack on the HQ becomes very feasible here for Sneed. And the fighter still exists. So, Soblet's kind of going to be wary of building any air units. And the fighter can also be used as a nice blocker, which, when you're dealing with like these 1-tile wide shoals and stuff, suddenly having a fighter stand there means that nothing can get through. And if that nothing includes like a medium tank and a mega, very happy. Double rocket down here. Absolutely wild. Getting some of these neutral cities. Rocket in the woods. They do cover these properties pretty nicely. They just have to be very careful, because if there's a breakthrough over here, which can happen very quickly, they will all die. Rockets are paper thin. There we go. We got a battleship as well. Obviously, Soblet. Very defensive here. Sneed. I mean, it's really sad that Sneed lost these properties, but it's going to be so much easier to like take these ones now rather than go back over here. Usually battleships trigger people to just like run away from the battleship. Because if 28k is sitting right there, that means 28k isn't defending like these properties. Well, the Mega might be scaring. Ooh, attack walking into it. Okay. Have a bomber on the way. The bombers are pretty good against battleships. Poor recons used for some pretty good scouting here. Anti-air gets to kill off the copter. Battleship just kind of flees. Make it be chilling. I do agree with building more anti-airs. I don't know if we really need a third rocket. You might be just trying... Soblet might be just trying to go for the day limit here. Definitely agree with attacking up here. Like, double rocket battleship, triple rocket battleship, and lander. That's not going to be able to defend up here at all. Let's see how it goes. We're on day 26. This infantry has been so valuable. It spots, even when it's spotting nothing over here, it's being good at this stage of the game. Ooh, Sneed builds a battleship of their own. Rockets are getting moved over. You've got quadruple rockets. Finally takes that guy out. Now we're at an effort to go for the captures. Only goes for one capture, and it's the further forward one. Okay. Battleship fires at the recon. The recon goes in, does spot the whole wall. And rocket's not guarding this. The rockets are just not guarding the captures. Okay. But they like guard the spots in front of the captures. You can't really wall for your captures, I guess, is the plan there. It's so all in over here that even though there's barely anything down here for Soblet, I think Soblet can make a play for this stuff. It's attacking. The Mega is so far back. It's the most scared Mega you've ever seen. It does get extra movement by ignoring the forest penalty. Okay, we're going for this capture. It is a threat. Have to take 2 properties here to go for a draw by day limit. Okay. Solid starts moving out down here. So 1, 2, 3 rockets down here. 4. Okay, no more rockets. We do have a fighter built now. The lander. Another black. Okay, it looks like Sneed is attacking in. They need a little bit more than that, otherwise. This is the Urban Blight. Oh, does get to hit a rocket. Rest in peace, rocket. But little does Sneed know. Sneed probably does know, but there's 2 more rockets here. Is this recon going to be? No, the recon's not going to be enough to save that city. The battleship does have sights on the comm tower. I assume we're going to see the Lash Supa here. Battleship is now repaired. It doesn't have any targets though. Boom, down goes the bomber. Boom, down goes the Neo. Things getting picked off. Things are looking pretty decent. For Lash, going in on the comm tower that is going to be able to be denied here by Kindle. It looks like Lash just has this game in the bag. One more capture here. We had another Urban Blight. there can be a join cap here. Put some more pressure on the comm tower for sure. Gonna go after the fighter. The anti-airs. I assume we're gonna save this city. Tank decides to do the rockets. They gotta inch forward. They're too far back. Didn't keep the pressure going on the comm tower with a join cap, but oof. Sneed's trying to fall back is like at half the unit count. Okay, good. There we go. Deletes the units, goes for the resign. GG. That was quite the game. I don't know if I've seen that many rockets before on this map. Sword signature, not enough time on hiatus. Bro should play grid, yeah. Maybe you would have enjoyed Jake. Extra range. Alright. GG. I gotta get to bed. I leave you guys with an apple. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching.
It's Go7, king of the penguins. Of all the penguins, he is king. It's Go7, king of the penguins. Being king of the penguins, that's